Hey, it's James Lynch. So with an off week with the UFC, a lot of people are talking about the MVP card that happened on Netflix between Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano. And a lot of people have been criticizing Ariel Helwani for the way he did his broadcast and all that. So we're going to dig into that a little bit. But I wanted to start first with the numbers because this was a big topic of conversation yesterday. All over social media, you can read it here from the Netflix official account. It said 17 million global viewers tuned in to watch Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano on Netflix, averaging 12.4 million viewers across triple main events. So a lot of people calling this a success, and you can see this in the quote tweets as well. We got Wade, who love Wade's content, does a great job here. He says, I think around 20 million would have been massive, but this is a win regardless. They now have one of the most viewed MMA events, which was what they set out to do. I don't know if this is the most watched or either way, big number for MVP MMA. We have some other opinions on here, just talking about this was basically pass fail, under 9 million go walk, over 9 million, it's all roses they passed. So a lot of positive stuff here as well. Keep in mind, obviously, Netflix is just a huge platform. Like there could have been people that were, going to watch a movie and happen to see this being on live as well. So the numbers are a little bit interesting from that perspective. I would imagine this was a success just based off how much people were talking about it and everything. Dave Meltzer, who's someone who's very much, got on the pulse of TV viewership and all that, gives us a bit more of a clarification here. So I think this is worth noting. He says, here are the numbers. Also, when I explain the reality, many on all sides won't be happy. For the UF's Video Amp, not Nielsen, listed viewing for Saturday and Sunday is combined 9.3 million viewers for the average of the three main events, and the main event was 11.6 million. In theory, that breaks the $9.5 million record of Velasquez dos Santos for the most watched MMA fight ever in the US, and that was on Fox, if you remember. But that was a one-night total, not a two-day total. More importantly, this is very important, Video Amp is not Nielsen, and their numbers in 2025 skewed on average of 158% above Nielsen network numbers. So while this show did absolutely great, it probably didn't legit break the record, even though everyone else will report it did. So Dave kind of digging into the numbers a little bit more. Not maybe record breaking that people are thinking. That's basically what he's saying here, is that, the numbers were good, but maybe not record breaking. So again, we'll see what's next for Netflix as far as their next event with MVP. A lot of people are certainly talking about it. It's going to be hard to kind of top some of the names they had on this event to try and get the next event going. So there was a lot of talk on obviously the viewership. Now I want to get to the coverage that Ariel Helwani had, because I saw this all over social media, and admittedly, I didn't see a lot of Ariel's commentary because I sort of watched the card on a different time frame. I kind of avoided spoilers and then kind of just watched the fights and sped up and caught up on them. So I didn't get a lot of commentary, but here's just a sample of some of the stuff that people are criticizing Ariel for. You guys can be the judge here. Obviously, if you're doing a broadcast of an event, you want to promote it, you want to, get people excited in it. So we'll watch this 42-second clip, and then I'll show you some of the reactions to this, because this is what a lot of people have been talking about since the event, is how Ariel Helwani did this coverage as far as the MVP event, kind of crossing that line. Some people feel that he's crossing that line between kind of being too much of a promoter and less of a reporter here. So let's hear from Ariel here. Just one example, and we see the tweet here. This truly feels like a dawn of a new era, the Netflix era. Tonight, the amazing sport and amazing athletes get a chance to show the world just how special it can be. So we're going to watch this clip here.
Hey guys, I gotta be honest with you right here and now, and everyone at home. I am so excited about being here. It's hard to put it all into words. Allow me to try and explain. Longtime MMA fans, we were introduced to this amazing sport in the 90s via something called pay-per-view. And then came cable TV, and then premium cable, and then broadcast TV. But this truly feels like the dawn of a new era, the Netflix era. Let's be honest, Netflix up until now has aired 5 boxing events, but over in the corner was the sport we love so much, MMA, saying, what about us? Tonight, this amazing sport and its amazing athletes get a chance to show the world just how special it can be, and I am so honored to be here with you guys to
So Ariel's right in the sense that this is the first event on Netflix, first MMA event, so the platform is big. Is it a new era? I mean, that's up for debate. We'll see how MVP does going forward as far as the MMA world goes. You oversold it a little bit. I don't think this was that bad personally. I mean, again, it's your job as a broadcaster to get people to tune in. If you're just flipping the channels and you see someone talking about how great this event is, you got to sell it a little bit. But people certainly didn't hold back. So here's Steve Caulfield, one of the old school MMA reporters, started at Yahoo back in the day. Steve was a part of the sport long before I was, and on the ESPN Las Vegas radio show, had some criticisms of Ariel Helwani when talking to Steve Kim. Steve Kim's been a big boxing writer for a long time here. So here was one of the criticisms we heard from these guys. We'll have a listen right here.
As bad as some think the fights were, Steve Kim, there was as much complaining about the presentation and the broadcasting on this one
It's terrible. Look, I get it. There's never going to be another Larry Merchant, and it's just not allowed. But the amount of, I'm going to be very careful here, but the amount of homering, agenda spewing, flat out shilling from Ariel Helwani, who I know gets paid by MVP. I get it. I'm not asking you to lose your job. In fact, I'm not even asking any of these guys to be critical, because this goes across all broadcast units now because of the way the business is set up. I'm not asking you to be the hardest hitting journalist or the young Howard Cosell, Larry Merchant. Can you at least curb the hard sell just a little bit? Is that too much to ask, guys?
Wasn't it Ariel who also was annihilating Kellerman for being a Zuffa boxing company man?
Yeah, and you know what I have in my mind right now, my vision? The two Superman guys pointing at each other.
Spider-Man, actually, but yeah.
Seriously. And for Ariel to say after that main event, it's hard for me to not get emotional. Really? That made you emotional? That right there really got him sentimentally so overwhelmed that he almost got emotional. Okay.
Yeah.
So I bring this up because this isn't just like a bunch of, fans, because we know how fans are on social media. Every little thing they'll criticize and get upset about. I mean, this is someone from Steve Cofield, who's been in the industry for quite some time. You've got Adam Hill as well, who's, been covering MMA for a long time. He mainly covers the Raiders now. And then you got Steve Kim, who's a longtime boxing writer. So I think, if it's not like this is just coming from some random person. These are people that have been in the industry, that have been established. For them to say this, and again, most of these guys, especially Steve, is more on the boxing side of things. It's an interesting criticism here. And again, I didn't see the whole broadcast, so I can't really criticize that. We did see that clip there. I felt like Ariel maybe oversold it a little bit here, but they're coming out of the woodwork, and you see some of the quotes on this tweet here. Robert Joyner, who's someone who keeps an eye on the media and stuff, he says, "Old man Cofield, part of the original Yahoo MMA crew, has a boxing writer, Steve Kim, on. They discussed the homerism Ariel was showing on Netflix and the Kellerman hypocrisy. I'm not hating, just pointing out the obvious." And I don't have the actual clip that Ariel said, but if you go on quick AI search here, it says Ariel Helwani recently blasted Max Kellerman for his commentary during the debut event of Dana White's Zuffa Boxing. Helwani, who formerly viewed Kellerman as an elite truth teller in combat sports, accused him of compromising his credibility as a promoter rather than an objective analyst. And this isn't like some AI slop. He actually said this. I remember seeing this. Of course, Kellerman doing work for Zuffa Boxing, and we know Ariel has been very critical of the UFC and Zuffa Boxing in terms of the coverage and how that's all set up in boxing. So yeah, that's a debate to be had here as far as what Ariel's doing on this MVP broadcast and his criticisms of Max Kellerman. Now, this was a tweet that I saw kind of go a bit viral, this MMA's Fixed account. I've actually never heard of them before. You can read it right here. I'm not going to repeat what this part is right here. But a lot of people kind of agreed, and I even brought this up on my live chat yesterday because that is something I noticed on social media. A lot of people are criticizing Ariel for the way that he was selling this MVP fight, kind of going a bit overboard and all that. And you can see some of the comments here. We got one guy here defending Ariel, says he does a great job. Let's see here. Didn't need 15-minute interview every fight. Asking Paul what he thinks was just too much. I mean, that might not be his decision. That might be an MVP thing. Turned it on, muted it, left it after the fight. Of course, you're going to get some comments about Ariel's ethnicity, which is just low-hanging fruit. You don't need to do that. It's really the worst commentary I've ever heard. He spent the whole night fangirling. Again, these are not real commentators. These are mainly fans, but it is worth noting that this was something I think that overshadowed the event a bit. Some people are supporting him here, saying that we're keep winning. He talked and talked. So yeah, you're getting kind of a variety there of different opinions as far as people not liking the commentary. So again, people talking about the hypocrisy between Kellerman and Helwani on this one. And then Ed Carbajal, a guy that I work with at Expectation Sports, does a great job with interviews. He says this seems to be the consensus. And again, I've seen a lot of this too. People criticizing Ariel for his commentary. And like I said, I think anyone in the public eye, myself included, you deserve to be criticized if you're in the public eye. The question is, are people just nitpicking, or is there legit criticism here? So again, there's some people that, worst experience of my life. I mean, a little bit exaggerated here, but yeah, there was a lot of activity on this tweet here. You see all the replies here. A bit of a mixed bag, actually, because we see people defending him and then we see people obviously criticizing him as well. And again, it's a tough position because obviously he works for the promotion. He's paid from the promotion, like it says there. He's paid by MVP. you want to sell the fights. It's just like, did he go overboard? I think is the big question here. So yeah, I'll let you guys decide this in the comments. If you guys are watching this, let me know what you thought of the commentary from Ariel Helwani on this broadcast. Is this people nitpicking? Is there anything legit here? I bring this up because, again, a lot of people are chatting about this on social media as far as the commentary and all that. And again, we have fellow media members criticizing him as well. So I think it's a topic worth discussing. And again, I think anyone that's working for a promotion, and I do some work for some promotions as well. You want to have that line between being objective and kind of overselling it a little bit. So it is a bit of a tricky situation. I kind of understand where Ariel's coming from, because again, you don't want to say, hey, this event isn't very good, we have 2 old women, don't go watch this fight. You know what I mean? Like, he's not going to say that, but at the same time saying, like, I don't have words to express how monumental this is. Maybe he did feel that way. I don't know. I'm just saying it's a little bit interesting how people have kind of come after Ariel for this. So let me know in the comments your thoughts on these criticisms. Do you think they're valid? Do you think people are nitpicking? What do you think about MVP's next event? Do you think it's going to happen? Who do you think will be featured on that card? I have a lot of questions about where the future of MVP is going. And let me just state this as well in this video. I want MVP to succeed. I think more options in MMA is better. We're seeing other promotions kind of go under. Bellator got bought up a number of years ago. PFL's doing their thing, but I don't really consider them like competition. I don't think anyone's going to be competition to the UFC, but what I think is important is having other options for fighters. I want to see fighters have opportunities. I want to see fighters get paid. There's a lot of really good fighters in MMA. I'd like to see all of them have great opportunities here. So I am pro MVP working out, but the question is, how do they go about it? How do they build these cards? I think that's very important. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, @Lynch on Sports. My name is James Lynch. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.